Hi, Algebra 2 students. Now that we've learned what a logarithm is, we are going to learn the properties of logarithms this week that allow us to simplify them. So, this is very similar to how you've learned the distributive property, associative property, commutative property, so that you can simplify algebraic expressions. We're going to need these properties of logarithms in order to simplify logarithmic expressions. We're going to start with 3, and we'll take a break and practice, and then we'll learn our final 2. So our first property is the product property. Now, all of our logarithmic properties can be tied to what we know about exponential expressions because we know that those two are inverses. So let's start by reviewing. What is the rule when you multiply two exponents with the same base? So if I want to simplify this expression, x cubed times x squared, I remember that I add the two exponents, so I have x to the 5th power. So similarly, when logarithms are multiplied together, what we can do is we can add the logarithms. So notice here we had two exponents being exponential terms being multiplied, so we added. All right, so this is what it looks like. If we have a log with a base of b of m times n, we can separate that into two logarithms, both with that same base of b, just like over here, they both had a base of x, and we can add them and separate the m and n factors. Let's look at example 1 where we're going to practice expanding. I see the log of 4 times 3. The base is 10, so I don't need to rewrite that. This is just our standard logarithm, so I can separate this to be log of 4 plus log of 3. And those two statements are equivalent. Now I can also go the other way to condense things. So here I see log of 5 plus log of 3. These are two logarithms with the same base that are being added together, so I can simplify this by writing log of 15. And where the 15 comes from is the 3 times 5. Next property is the quotient property. So again, let's first remember what we know about exponential expressions. So what is the rule when you divide two exponents with the same base? So here I have division of two exponents. So the rule is I take the exponents and I subtract them. 5 minus 2 is 3. So this simplifies to x to the 3rd power. Similarly, when logarithms are divided into each other, what we would do is subtract the logarithms. We can see that written out right here. So the log base b of m divided by n, I can separate this. Again, everything has the same base. And when I separate my two quotients, what I do is I subtract them. The numerator goes first, the denominator goes second. Okay, let's try expanding the one that we see here. The log base 10, okay, so I don't have to write that, of 12 divided by 3 is equal to the log of 12 minus the log of 3. So we can take that division statement and turn it into a subtraction one. All right, let's go to the other side and practice condensing. They both have the same base. You always need to check for that first. Now I can rewrite this as the log of 15 over 3, and I would want to simplify that further, and I would write the log of 5. Let's try one more, and we'll pause to practice. Our third property is called the power property. So let's think back to exponents. What is the rule when you raise an exponent to a power? So if I have x squared to the 3rd power, the rule is we distribute, or in other words, we multiply. So this would equal x to the 6th power. Same thing for logarithms. When logarithms are raised to a power, multiply the logarithms. So what this looks like, if you have a logarithm and then it's being raised to a power, we take that power and we put it in front and we multiply it by the logarithm. Okay, so it drops down. Let's try this. I see the log of 2 to the 4th power. I take that 4 and I'm going to drop it in front. 4 log of 2. We can also condense these. I can take this factor and I can bring it up as a power. So I could rewrite this one as log of 4 to the 3rd. So let's take a moment and practice these. Now, I do want you to go a little further with these than we saw in our previous example. So we'll try one of each together, and then I'm going to ask you to pause the video and come back and check your answers for those final ones. So, let's read the directions. Express as a single logarithm, simplify if possible. All right, so I see two logs with the same base, and they're being added together. So what we just learned is we can combine these into a single logarithm, and I would do that by multiplying 50 times 62.5. So I'm going to grab my calculator and multiply those. 50 times 62.5 is 31.25. And I forgot my base of 5. Now notice it says simplify if possible. Okay, so what it means when it says that in the directions is to figure out what this is equal to. In other words, we need to figure out 5 to what power is 31.25. So I'm going to do some guess and check with my calculator. I'm going to start with 5 to the 5th, so I'm just going to do a random guess. I got it right. I don't like it when I do a random guess and get it right, because I really am randomly guessing. All right, so the answer is 5 to what power is 31.25? 5 to the 5th power. When you're doing your homework this week or taking a test, I need to see both parts. I need to see the single logarithm and the simplified form. So some of you out there do not like to show work. Okay, you know who you are. You've been getting 1 out of 2 on your homework. That will stay true this week if I do not see both of these things. Okay, so show your work. All right, let's practice a subtraction problem. Same directions, express as a single logarithm. So again, that tells you what I need to see. I need to see the single logarithm and I need to see the simplified solution. All right, 2 logarithms with the same base being subtracted. I can combine them into a single logarithm with that same base. And this time, rather than multiply them, since it's a subtraction problem, I'm going to divide. So I'm going to do 320 divided by 5, and I get 64. So that's step 1. Now I have to ask myself, 4 to what power is 64? I think that's 4 to the 4th. Nope. 4 to the 3rd. Yep. So 3. The 2 parts are right here. Single logarithm, solution. All right, one more together, and then I'm going to ask you to finish these up on your own. So it says simplify if possible. I see this power right here, so I can drop it down into the front. So I'll have 2 log of 8 of 8. Now I can keep simplifying this because I know that if the base of the logarithm and what I'm taking the log of match up, I'm saying 8 to what power is 8? 8 to the 1st power. So I usually show it like that. So 2 times 1, because that's what this is equal to 2. All right, at this time, I'd like you to pause the video and work through these last 2, 4, 6, 7 problems. Come back for the second video to check your answers.